Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. But let us go back to the last week. I haven't quite finished the last week. Almost finished, but still a couple of slides to go through. So I want you to go to page 28. So the second little passages, the passages, the little ones, the second little ones, Khatiyas, Brahmins, Vesas, Suttas, outcasts and scavengers, they spare none along the way, but come crushing everything. So this whole chapter, chapter 1, the human condition, the subchapter is talking about old age, illness, and death. And here the Buddha used the great mountain, the big mountain, as a simile representing old age, death, illness, crushing from how many directions? 4 directions, all north, south, east, west, all directions coming. Anybody can escape from it? Nobody. Okay, good, very good. And he said even the Khatiyas, Brahmins, Vesas, Suttas. So do you know these four categories? What are they? Anybody aware of what?
Are you related with high caste?
Which one is this?
High caste.
Which one is?
Like Brahmins, for example.
Okay, Brahmins is the second class, yes.
The priestly class, isn't it?
Huh?
Is it the priestly class?
No, these 4 actually are the 4 caste system in India. There is no, like, the most prestigious one is Khatiya. Khatiya, that means noble warriors. So like the king, royal warriors, like the king, the prince, the princess. Those are called Khatiyas. That they belong to the caste of Khatiyas. Okay, and then the second one belongs, the second caste, one caste lower is the Brahmin. The Brahmin is considered as the elder, like ministers, priests. So that's the second caste. Then the third caste is the Vesas. The Vesas, who belong to the Vesas, farmers, blue collars, workers, businessmen, and dairy farmers. So you know in India there are a lot of dairy farmers and goatkeepers, a lot. Okay, so that is the third caste. And then the fourth one is Suttas. Suttas, that is the lower caste among these 4 castes. And Suttas actually are slaves to all these 3 classes. All these 3 castes, they are slaves. So remember the story in Dhammapada, the blind arahant. Remember the blind arahant who is an ophthalmologist? Remember him? No?
Are you treating the woman?
Yeah, very good, yeah.
And they made a sort of a bargain that
Yeah, the woman is going to,
she would be, and his daughter.
yeah, his
Her
daughter
daughter
is going to be serving him if he cure her, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have to go back to the Dhammapada. So, yeah, that's Suttas. So that woman belongs to the Suttas. And then the, so where do you think the doctors will belong to? Brahmin part, yeah. Okay. So and then there is the next caste, outcasts and the scavengers. Outcasts and the scavengers. So outcasts and scavengers, in the Pali language is called Khandala Pukusi. So outcast is lowest caste, and they are the butchers, the meat sellers, those people who sell meat, and fishermen, and one professional that you think that is really very strange, correctional officer. Like prison guards. Very strange, eh? How does that work? What do you think? Why would that happen?
Because they're looking after
Criminals, yes. So they're looking after those criminals, and then it belongs to the outcasts. And the scavengers. Scavengers are those, again, it's the butchers, and also those people who actually garbage remover. And in the old days, you definitely haven't experienced this. In the old days, when we were little, we have people coming to empty out our poop tank. Yeah. Why did you know? You know this? You knew that?
Well, yeah, I read about it, and I also knew that untouchables were the people who had that job.
Yeah. When we were little, we had that.
Yeah.
We every morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they come in and empty out those pails. Yeah. So those belongs to the scavengers. So these two outcasts and the scavengers are considered the lowest caste in the Indian hierarchy, a social hierarchy. And scavengers are these two actually are even lower than the suttas.
Are these just depicting from sutras, or is this how it is still in India?
That was how it was in the old days.
Do they still use these terms nowadays?
I think so.
Oh,
Some
okay.
of them, I think so, because the caste system is still quite prevalent.
Very much intact.
Yeah, it's still in India. Yeah, I remember when I went to India, I have learned a lot. In some places there are a lot of beggars. The little beggars, the little ones. I don't give them money. I give them like chocolate or candy. They don't take it because they're not supposed to touch anybody because they are considered to be the lower caste. So if I put it on the table, they can take it. If I put it on my hand, they won't take it. They're not allowed to. That's how terrible that was.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So we are very blessed.
Huh.
Yes, Carrie.
Where would the first responders be, like the police, the firefighters, the paramedics?
It probably belongs to the visas. The visas. The dairy farmers, workers. I don't know whether in the old days there are ambulance firefighters. I don't think there are. The fire being extinguished by just like people. I don't think there are certain professionals. Yeah, but they need prison guards. Yeah, I mean in the old days, ambulance, firefighters. No, I don't think so. Yeah, maybe Versha knows about this.
I just want to tell you a funny story. Last week you asked me about touching feet.
Yeah.
And so when I first went to India, I was about 5, and my parents taught me that when you meet your elders, you will touch your feet.
Yeah.
Bow. So I did that, and they didn't specify which elders. So
Which elder? Oh,
right,
I see.
so one of the scavenger outcasts came to clean the house, and I didn't know. My mom
When
said,
you were in India?
I was 5 years old. My mom took me inside and said, "We will give you a clue when to do that. Don't do it to everybody." I went, okay.
Oh.
Because I was touching all the elders' feet, but I didn't understand the caste system, so I didn't differentiate. And
Yeah.
embarrassing.
So that you embarrassed her.
I did. Both my parents and the workers, right? It was very uncomfortable for everybody.
Yeah, right, yeah. Oh, wow.
Sorry, had to share.
That caste system is still prevalent, very prevalent in India. Okay. So now you understand those are the this is example. Even though example is, even though you are royal warrior or you are in the lowest caste, nobody can escape these mountains. Okay, that's why that's what it meant. So, we looked at this last time. Just as mountains of solid rock, crushing all in four quarters, so aging and death come rolling over living beings. There's no hope there for victory, even by the four kind of battles, right? So therefore, a person of wisdom here, out of regard for his own good, steadfast should settle faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So this whole passage is about when one conducts oneself by Dhamma with body, speech, and mind, they praise one here in the present life, and after death, one rejoices in heaven. So I want you to look at the Dhammapada, verse 16. It says, the doer of good rejoices here and hereafter. He rejoices in both the worlds. Both the worlds, that mean the world right now, the existing present world that we are living in, and the world that we are going to be reborn into. So he rejoices and exalts, recollecting his own pure deeds. So he rejoices and exalts because he has done wholesome deeds, the good deeds, and then the good deeds of body, speech, and mind, right? As the king said, what else could be done except living a life by the Dhamma, to live righteously and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds. Those are four aspects that we should behave. We should actually live our life. Four aspects. The first aspect is live by the Dhamma. The second aspect is live righteously. That means wholesome right actions. And the third is to do wholesome deeds. And then the fourth is do meritorious deeds. So those are four aspects of how we should live our life.
Were you saying like in both worlds, like what other world is it referring to?
Any world that you will be reborn into, your karma take you.
So do you believe like there's thousands, hundreds, or?
6 realms of planes.
Oh,
6
okay.
planes.
Yeah.
The lower 3 realms and the upper 3 realms.
Oh, okay.
The human is right in the middle.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the human is actually very, very fortunate to be a human being because we can travel down, we can travel up. Okay. So yeah. So all right. So that is the first subchapter of chapter 1. Old age, illness, and death. None of us can escape that. Okay. You have any question concerning this?
What's the difference between a wholesome deed and a meritorious deed?
Well, wholesome deeds is, for example, when you cross the road, somebody maybe somebody has dropped something, or maybe an old lady is crossing the road very slowly, and you just walk her by. That is very wholesome, but that doesn't get you much merit. But if somebody is very, very, very sick, and need a lot of help, and you give up your own time, you go and help her and console her and be with her, and no matter how difficult this person is to you, you still have that patience and compassion, embracing the situation. That is meritorious because you are helping the person to alleviate their suffering. You might not be able to do that, but because you are there, you are having that kind of intention. That is meritorious. Yeah. So for example, people donate money. Yeah? Donating money to build a temple has a lot more merits than donating money to build a school. A school is going to give you knowledge for this lifetime, but a temple is going to benefit so many people eons of life, and not just people coming to a monastery. It's people around that person. For example, Versha come here and she learns this, and she donates and she supports, and then she goes home. She meets friends, and friends ask her, "Hey, Versha, you have been such a happy person lately. What happens?" And she sort of shares, and then that person said, "Wow, that person I know, she's gone to and support this, blah 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 blah, and she's so much better. Maybe we should go too." And then the words just spread like I always say. What do I always say? Open fishnet. Remember? Dhamma is just like an open fishnet. It connects infinitely, from 1 to second, from 2 to 4, 4 to 16. It just spread. So that is meritorious. Yeah? Okay? So that's why remember I told you about, somebody asked me why did I become a nun? Remember I told you about this thought that I had during one of my session, treating a patient. This thought that, oh, maybe the Dhamma is so wonderful. Maybe I really should consider renouncing, and then hopefully in the future I will be able to share the Dhamma in English with people. So that's one time, and then the second time came about 3 months later, and because of those two thoughts, I started to reflect on myself. Even if I lived until 70, if I still like treating people, patients, 20, 30 a day, how many would I treat? There is a finite number, right? 30 years of career, 30 years, maybe 40 years. So every a year, a day, 5 days a week, 30 patients a day, you can multiply. You can actually. But after, and I thought, wow, really, it's so finite. There's a limit to this. But the Dhamma has no limit to it. And if I use the rest of my life, at that time I thought, if I use the rest of my life to practice, and maybe one day I can share my knowledge with people, I think it will have a ripple effect, an enormous, infinite ripple effect. So that's how I came to renounce, and I definitely see that ripple effect. Yeah. Yes. David?
Oh, what was the other word meaning? Good deed or the...
Meritorious.
I don't understand that word.
That means a deed with a lot of merits. merits.
Oh, okay.
Merits, benefits, in a wholesome sense.
So not necessarily boastful, but at the same time it's accomplishable, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that is that passage. Now we look at the next passage, the divine messengers. So divine messengers, the King Yama said. What are the 3 divine messengers? And so what is the first divine messenger?
Aging.
Huh?
Aging.
Aging, yeah. Don't we all experience that now? Did you ever see, my good man, the first divine messenger appearing among humankind? It's true that we notice that we are getting old. But a lot of times we forget about that we are getting old. don't we? Yeah, yeah, and we think, huh?
I said most days.
Most days, yeah, yeah. But you're too young. You're the youngest. You don't have the right to say this. We are the elders here. But yeah, and we actually forget about that, and we cannot. We a lot of times we seldom reflect. We seldom remind ourselves that we cannot escape it. Right? But because we are so busy, we're so busy with our life, a lot of times we forget about this. And when we forget about this, what is the side effect of this?
Being heedless, taking things for granted.
Yeah, being heedless, taking things for granted, and also thinking that we still have a lot of time. And I mean, I used to read so much before I go to bed. Now I read a couple of pages and my eyes would just droop. I used to read like 100 pages before I fall asleep. Now I look at all these passages and wow, it's just too much. I can only read a few pages at a time now. That's old age setting in, no matter whether I like it or not, right? And how did he reply? He replied, "No, Lord, I did not see him." Why didn't he see him? Why didn't he see it? What did he say? You read it just now. I was negligent. I was negligent. And I was negligent. Negligent, I think the word is really not complete. I think I was ignorant. I think I was ignorant is a better word to describe, and inclusive of negligence. But that is what the sutta says. So King Yama says, through negligence, my good man, you have failed to do noble deeds by body, speech, and mind, because we are heedless. So we forget that time is so precious. And so we just let time runs by and waste it. Right? So that's the first divine messenger. And so what is the second? And then King Yama asked him, my good man, didn't you ever see a woman or man, 1890, frail, bent like a roof bracket? Right? And so on. And he said, yes, I have seen this, but did it ever occur to you, an intelligent and immature person, I too am subject to old age and cannot escape it? And let me do noble deeds by body, speech, and mind? No. He answered, no, Lord, I could not do it because I was negligent. So King Yama said, through negligence, you alone have done the evil deed, and you will have to experience the fruit. We all have to bear the fruits, right? So that's the first messenger. The first messenger is about the old age. I always say the messengers is always around since the day we were born. Especially when we pass our prime age, the messengers is even more vivid. Our hair starts to become silvery. Our teeth starts to fall. And our bones start to ache. Yeah?
I have a really hard time with it because sometimes I've done bad things in the past, but I don't know how it affects me now. But like with Buddhism, it's not the same as Christianity, so I kind of don't really know what the idea behind past negligence and then coming up to like future
I will talk
negligence.
about that in the last slide about karma.
Oh, okay.
That will probably give you a hint of what's going on with the Buddhist teachings. Okay. So, and you will have to experience the fruit. Then right here, King Yama. What did King Yama actually hint at? Hint at which law that he was talking about? The law of causation, cause and effect. Causation, cause and effect. Okay. So, because of that negligence, we neglect. We did not see. We did not see that old age is coming, and we did not do good deeds by body, speech, and mind, because we were negligent, because we were ignorant. So we became heedless. And then because of those negligence, we have to be responsible for whatever costs that come from that negligence. That negligence is a cause. Yeah? And the fruits that come with that negligence is the consequence that we have to bear. Nobody can bear for us. Can somebody carry our consequences on their shoulders and then we will be rid of all the consequences? Nobody. Yeah, nobody. Okay? So, he said, through negligence, my good man, you have failed to do noble deeds. Well, and then he said, well, you will be treated as befits your negligence. The evil action of yours was not done by mother or father, brothers, sisters, friends or companion, nor by relatives, devas, ascetics or Brahmins. Why would you think King Yama would say this?
We like to blame others.
Yeah, we always blame others for our miseries. We always blame our mother or broken family. My mother is a drug addict. My mother is an alcoholic, or my father doesn't look after us, or whatever. Or my sisters or friends, or no, I don't have any friends, or my friends are bad friends. I don't have any good companions. My companions are really bad influence on me. Everything but ourselves. It's others' responsibility, but ourselves, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah. And it's the society that makes me become who I am right now. I have nothing to do with it. I'm forced to be like this. Nobody can force you to be like this. Nobody. That's why he said, all that evil action of yours was not done by anybody. Others are not the causes of your evil actions. We are the sole masters of our actions, whether wholesome or unwholesome. Okay? He said, but you alone have done that evil deed, and you will have to experience the fruit yourself. Okay? So that is the second. What is the second messenger?
Sickness.
Illness. Yeah. What is the third? Death. Yeah. Don't we all experience all those three messengers all the time? Some of us experience the second messenger later in our life, if we have a good health, if we look after ourselves, and if we have done a lot of good deeds in the past. You know, what is the past action to bring you good health? What do you think? Huh?
Helping others,
In what way?
healing ways, I guess.
Hmm?
Healing ways.
Healing ways, okay. Yes, that's a good way. What do you think?
Feeding them.
Feeding them, that's good health. Not necessarily.
Taking care of others.
Yeah, saving lives. Saving lives. everything. You're not killing, you're not hurting, you did not hurt, you did not kill, you did not harm. And that brings health this lifetime. And what about wealth?
Generosity.
Generosity, giving. Yeah. Is it just material? No. But of course, material giving. For example, if people have done a lot of good deeds in the past, material giving, this lifetime they will be very wealthy, but they not necessarily be happy. Yeah? And they will not necessarily be healthy. Yeah, because they only give money. They only give materially. And one thing about wholesome deeds and meritorious deeds is, for example, if in a village, in a village, they need a good road. Somebody build a road. Okay, that is a wholesome deed. But if in the village, if there is a plague, or illness, like throughout the whole village, and people give money, people boil medicine, people trying to save people's life. No matter whether they are no matter the givers are whether they're healthy or they're wealthy or they're not. Okay, they try and bring on medicines and helping people, and those are meritorious. The road is not absolutely necessary, but medicine is saving life. You see? Okay? So you see the difference now. Okay? So whatever that we have done in the past actually plant a very strong cause for the future. Okay? So Tony asked me about karma last week. So that's what it says. It talks about here right now. But you alone have done that evil deed, and you will have to experience the fruit. And similarly, you can rephrase that passage is, but you alone have done that wholesome deed, and you will have to experience that fruit. Okay, it's the same. So he asked me about karma, and that is what it is about karma. You alone have done that cause, and you will bear that fruit. And that's karma. And karma is, what's the word of karma? Anybody can give me a rough definition of the word just karma? Action. You always use this word. Now you can give me a definition? Just a very simple definition.
Cause and effect.
Huh?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect, yeah.
Consequences.
Consequences, yeah. Actually, it's the consequences of your actions, not just actions. So, karma in its own sense, not necessarily be negative. It could be good karma. It could be bad karma. Alright? So good karma definitely comes from past good actions. You planted past very good causes. So karma is the result of your action. So if there is a result, there must have a cause, right? So the cause. So whatever that brings that cause, you do it. Okay? You've done something. So that leads to what? Consequences, right? But say for example, you plant a tulip bulb into the ground. Will you always get tulip? Will you always get tulip? Why not? Huh?
Depends on the conditions of, sun and
Yeah, but will you always get a tulip? It's
Yeah,
a,
you're
if
not
it's just
gonna
a
get
tulip
a
bulb.
rose.
Yes.
Yeah, you won't get a rose, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, a tulip bulb will always give you a tulip flower. But it depends on conditions. What are the conditions that bring, that is going to nourish, that is going to feed into the tulip bulb to make it a bloom? What are the conditions? The soil, the sun, the water,
Temperature.
the heat.
I think you need looking after as well.
You need to look after it too, right? Yeah, okay? And it needs to be a healthy bulb. It needs to be a healthy bulb to start off. And a healthy bulb, that means if you want to reap healthy consequence, then you need to plant healthy causes. And the consequence, all these consequences are affected by all these conditions. Any of these conditions is going to affect the outcome of these consequences. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's what it means by the law of causation. If you would like to be reborn into a higher realm in next life, what will you do? What should you do?
Meritorious deeds.
Exactly. If it's not meritorious, at least it's wholesome, right? And wholesome deeds. Are you going to curse? You're going to continue to curse? You're going to continue to kill? You continue to steal? You continue to commit adultery? You continue to get drunk and kill people? You don't. You can't, and you should not. Because what you want a better life, a life with maybe in a celestial being, so at least to be reborn as a human being. That's the least thing that we can hope for. Right? So, in order to be reborn, this is the consequence. In order to be reborn in a higher realm, we need to start doing things here. This is life. This is our life right now. Whatever in the past is past. But it leaves something in the mind. It's like you send out, you put a stamp into the envelope and you send out the letter. And the people say, oh, I love this stamp when they receive the letter. I love this stamp, I collect stamp. So they try to remove that stamp from the envelope. But the envelope already has the, what?
The glue.
Huh?
The glue.
The glue. The stamp has already got like whatever, a mark on the envelope. That mark cannot be removed.
Oh, the postmark.
Not the postmark, the mark of the stamp. Even though you remove the stamp, that mark of the stamp is already there. Even though you might not be able to see it, it might not be visible, but there is a mark of the stamp on the envelope already. And that is not a new envelope anymore. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So, and you don't always go back to, oh gosh, I've done so many bad deeds in the past. You sulk on it, you become so depressed, you're so scared and everything. You stopped. You stopped. And you've actually stopped yourself from using the rest of the future days in your life fully and positively and diligently. Right?
Right.
That's the problem with a lot of people right now. They dwell too much onto the past. They forgot the future is most important, and the future is so important that I need to work on it right now in order to bring on a brighter future. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what cause and effect come into your life. You have to always constantly remind yourself, oh, I've gone into my past. Oh, I'm scared. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm angry. And you have to bring in that mindfulness of, hey, come on. You're going into that that dark spot again. That is in the past. I don't mean that you have all the excuses to do bad things. And next day you say, oh, sister said forget about the past. No, I don't mean that. I mean that you use the past experience as a teaching for you to behave differently right now, so that you planted better seeds for the future.
So with karma, it's not like a numbers thing where you're
No.
like, you feel like you have this much, or is it like more of an emotional consciousness, or like how do you feel about it?
Karma is not a number thing, nor is just an emotional consciousness.
What I'm hearing is how important it is what we do in the present moment. That's what
Yeah,
makes a difference right
yeah,
now.
yeah. That makes a difference right now. You can be in hell right now, or you can be in heaven right now. Right? When you are in hell right now, are you able to catch yourself? Oh wow, I'm going into that dark hell again. And then you said, no, you stop. You stop rolling into that emotion. You stop that and bring yourself back out here. And with a positive emotion, look at it. I think I can do better. Then at that moment, that whole mindset is totally different. You are in the realm of heaven because you believe in yourself, and you say, oh wow, I can do better. Let me try again. You see, that's so much different than rolling into the darkness constantly. Yeah, you understand that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's a concept, okay?
Mhm.
It's really nothing you can really so solidify it.
Oh.
You can't solidify. It's a concept, but it's a vivid concept that you can really actually, you can see it happening in your life.
So like personally, can like yourself, like do you see other people's karma when you look at them, or
Of
that's
course.
not?
You see my karma, I see your karma too, right? Don't you see my karma?
Yeah.
I see your karma too.
Okay.
Because we all see each other's behavior. We all see each other's sufferings. We all see each other's happiness. When I see people suffering, I say, wow, so difficult, so difficult. He or she must have a very difficult time, and that difficult time is not forever. It's not permanent. You can change it.
Mhm.
And the only person who can change it is that person himself or herself. Nobody can help. Somebody can help, but nobody can bear it for them. Okay? Yeah?
Mhm.
So everything has to start from here. So the conditions is how you look after that tulip bulb. Right now, right here. Not from past year. Past year, you haven't looked after that tulip bulb, that's gone. But use that experience as a teaching that this year I need to look after it this way. I need to find a good place, a better place, well drained, a lot of just the right kind of fertilizer. Okay? So those we putting in the right kind of conditions. Then these conditions, any one of them will affect the consequence, and the consequence will be so different. So different. Yeah? So this time I want us to do this in Dhamma sharing. Is every time we study, we read, and I explain, and I want us to reflect. Okay? So first reflection. So King Pasenadi was so busy acquiring his territory, right? Remember? He said, wow, all the kings, right? With the intoxication of sovereignty, who are obsessed by greed for sensual pleasures, who have attained stable control in their country, and who rule, having conquered a great sphere of territory on earth. So busy because he wanted to conquer more. He wanted to expand his territory. What about us? What about us?
We each do the same in our everyday lives.
We're just like
Which is like
a fly,
yeah.
getting so busy, buzzing all along. Ask yourself, why am I so busy? Why? And what are we chasing after? Contemplate on that, reflect on that, and see if we can stop it. At least we can weaken that chasing and diminish that busyness. Why are you looking at me like this?
No reason.
You know, a lot of people are so busy watching TV. Yeah? A lot of people are so busy hiking. A lot of people are so busy camping. A lot of people are so busy shopping. When we are so busy with those errands, are we the same as the king personality? It's the same, isn't it? So we are as ignorant as him. So reflect on that. Okay? And the second is, okay, what is the difference between us and the wise one? Or knowing about the mountains which are rolling on, the mountains of aging, the mountains of illness, the mountains of death, they're rolling on. What do you think is the difference between us and the wise one?
The wise ones know to practice.
Yeah, the wise one knows to practice. Practice when?
Always.
And what about us? Huh?
We put it off.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, okay. Yeah, so reflect on that and see whether we can improve. Yeah, we can improve. And how do we face old age, illness, and death? Is it consistent with what the king said, living by the Dhamma, to live righteously and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds? Are we facing this mountain like the king, like what the king said? Are we?
I'm trying.
You're trying. Nobody
Each day
dare
I
to
try
say
harder
anything?
than the one before, so
Huh?
so each day I work at trying harder than the one before.
Good. That's very good.
Practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Yes, practice makes progress. And only with progress then you will reach perfection. Practice doesn't bring perfection. Practice brings progress. And practice and be mindful. Practice and be mindful. Practice and be happy. Okay. And when old age, illness, death is imminent, what is the common perspective among ordinary people?
Don't think about it.
Yeah, avoid it. Don't talk about it, right? Yeah, don't talk about it. Turn our face, turn our head.
Be afraid.
Huh?
They're also to be afraid.
Afraid, scared,
Yeah.
fear, yeah. And sometimes could be a lot of anger. Why am I old?
Why are you dying?
Why am I dying? Why did she die before me? Why don't I die before her? Why did he have such a good family? Why don't I have such a good family? Why? Is there an answer to your why? Why not?
This is imminent.
Huh?
Because it's imminent.
That's imminent, yeah. It's so imminent. Is it useful to ask why?
Not in that case.
Not in that case. Is it okay? Is it useful if you know why?
Not always.
Yeah. Why not?
searching for why, we don't see what's actually important.
Yeah,
We
you
don't
you
deal
miss
with
it.
What, that's exactly it.
You miss the most important part because you're searching the why, and the whys are always in the past.
There's always another one.
Yeah,
Well, mostly unanswerable.
exactly. And also a lot of the whys are already gone into the past, right? Yeah. And what is our perspective? The ordinary people see death in that sense. What is our perspective? How do we see it ourselves? How do we face old age? How do we face illness? How do we face death? How?
It's not here yet.
Huh?
It's not here yet.
It's not here yet, yeah. I still have a lot of time, right? Yeah, yeah. We are not urgent enough because we think we still have a lot of time. And we forgot to plan. We forgot to plan. We forgot to make our life right now, right here, most fruitful and most useful and most productive and most in a Dhammic way. We forgot because we don't think that my life will end so soon. That's why when people's life ends sooner than they expected, there is a lot of anger, regret. Oh, I wish I had more time so that I could do this and I could say sorry to that person, I could love this person more, I could do the right. There is so much if there. Right? Okay? So that's the reflections for you. If you think of...
You have practiced detachment.
Yeah, it's so easy to say, eh?
It is easy to say, but very hard to do.
Yeah, it's so easy to say, but really difficult to do. Yeah. So that's why we have to constantly reflect on the value of life right now. We are all older now. I mean, some of you have known me for so long. We have all grown older. And now we really need to be seriously looking at our life. And what should I do next? Don't wait too long. Okay? And so let us dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we, with all the other living beings, together will attain the Buddha way. Let us wish more and more people will encounter the words of the Buddha, study them, practice them, and help themselves to untie all the entanglements, all the knots, and attain this ultimate freedom and happiness and peace.